Welcome back to the channel. This time we're looking at the post-build review of the Panzer III Ausf.B from Miniart. Now this one's all done and it is finished as a pretty much generic vehicle used in Poland, the Polish campaign by the Germans in 1939. So here we are. It's a very well detailed model. What we'd come to expect from Miniart. The actual suspension here, this is pretty much a week's work to get all of that sorted, you know, hour or two an evening. Very, very delicate, all separate parts through there. Lots of multiple bits to make that up as well. The bogies that the wheels sit on, all very delicate, very complex. And to make the wheels actually sit level took a bit of doing and a bit of sort of bending here and there. But in the end, it was very much worth it because that is the main feature to this variant of the Panzer III. I think on the A, the B, the C and the D they trialled different suspensions which were on the outside before they just closed it up and then switched to the 6-wheel on the later models, which is more iconic of the Panzer III. And I think the chassis is a little bit shorter, so this one's approaching the kind of size of a Panzer IV as opposed to a Panzer III. I think would probably be more back like that, and then the Panzer IV would be more like this. So it's very close. I couldn't use the tracks in the kit. I don't say this very often, but I would have described them as unbuildable. Other people may have a better go at it, but I was getting nowhere with them, to be honest. So I actually looked in the drawer, and I do have a set of these were actually just made like this off of an old Panzer IV model that I must have got rid of, but kept the tracks. So these are Fleury Modelismo tracks, which are metal interlinking ones, and I didn't have to put them together, so they were already done. And I think I took out one or two links. So that's the difference between the Panzer IV and the Panzer III here, as we're talking about. It's just 2 links, whereas the later marks, it would be quite a lot shorter run on the tracks. And yeah, I feel out of a few that I've been doing recently, I've really managed to get the weathering how I wanted it on this one. It's very subtle. There's a couple things at play here. So I've been trialling with the German grey. We got a video that you may have already seen where I did the Tamiya Panzer II, and I've just changed the grey a little bit more, a little bit bluer, a little bit richer, as you can see between the two, and I feel that this is pretty much a lot more accurate in my eyes as to what I feel the Panzer grey was. It seemed to be quite a bluey colour as opposed to a darker grey. It did change a little bit, but I don't know, it's all in this sort of, it's how you view it, I guess. It seems to go a little bit more purpley, sometimes a bit bluer, sometimes a bit blacker. It's somewhere in that ballpark, but I don't mind mixing it up really and changing it. I quite like the look of this as a very early one. Obviously 1939, I guess the tank would have been made in 38, something like that, with some of the later ones being made in 39, 40. Whether there was a change or not, I'm not sure, but that's how I'm sort of viewing it. And it's a very nice kit, and it's a very nice model to have, but it is not for the faint-hearted. So if you are going into this one, you want to bear in mind that it's going to be a very, very tricky build the whole way. Fit is fine. The only issue I actually had was at the back here to get, what was it now? It was something to do with a line back here. You do get a full turret interior as well, which I did do, and I had the side doors open. I was going to use the whole crew that come with this version. You get the 5 crew members, but none of them actually fit. You might be able to see in there that the old commander is just floating in mid-air. He should either be on this or back in there, and he doesn't really seem to go either way. So I then was going to use the loader on this side to actually hide his feet, and then he didn't fit as well, so at that point I just gave up and thought we'll put the commander figure in. But yeah, on the back here there's this part joins to the front part. It's sort of built up in subsections. You do this bit, then you do this section, and then you do this rear section. And the joining of this one to that one was a little bit tricky. Also, these photo etch parts in there that make up the grills, so we've got photo etch lines, strips in there. They were a bit difficult, especially back here, and it's quite hard to read the instructions to see what it was they actually wanted. But once you get your head around it, it's fine. I can't see that there's anything missing. The tools have the tool clamps already drilled out on the handles. Heavier than photo etch, but it's good enough for my liking. Full MG there as well, which is actually quite nice, not that you see any of it. And you can open all of the vision ports. So I've done that to let a bit of light in there, and you can see a few things going on. We've also got a double machine gun at the front here, which is one of the early features of this Panzer III. But yeah, all in all, very, very enjoyable. So I'll leave you now with some pictures that I've just taken, and if you're looking at this kit and thinking about it, well, it's certainly worth having a go at. You may need to look at some tracks, although you do get interlinking tracks in the kit, but they are extremely complicated from what I could see. And you will need to take your time, a deep breath, and just go straight into it. So thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with some pictures now, and see you in the next video.